Hey, Gremlin Gear, face reveal. Today, I'm with two of my buddies, and we just got 5 or 6 inches of snow, which we weren't expecting. But the plan has been to hike to Callaway Peak on the Daniel Boone Scout Trail. We've got our packs. We're gonna be doing some hammock camping and kind of testing out some cold weather gear, which is kind of the goal. We gotta be really careful. It is snowy and icy. We can barely see the trail. But this is what it's all about. Getting your gear on, getting out there training, seeing what it feels like. I'm about to trip if I don't use my brain here. And we're gonna let y'all know how it goes, see if we actually get to the top or see if this is a failed mission, because the weather here is really crazy. It's like 28, 30 degrees. We're expecting some more rainfall later tonight. And I got already. Yeah, I might be layering down here in a second.
Tell us when you want to stop.
Yeah, we go ahead and stop. Hey, Gremlin Gear. Here are my feet. Today we're going to be going over the extended cold weather clothing system from the U.S. Army. And I've got some stuff laid out on my floor so that I can rotate some items through, really show them to you. And we're going to get into this layering system. So this system is designed for keeping you warm and alive during extended cold weather missions. Like I said before, it is a layering system. It is composed of many parts. There's also a few extra things that I'm going to show, and I'm going to be relating this all back to a failed camping experience and a hike that I went on with me and my buddies about this time last week. I'm gonna go through and explain the temperatures in which you want to start adding on some of these layers, how they're supposed to benefit you, and kind of my experience, especially with this camping experience, since it's all very fresh on my mind. Now, this layering system is something that I've had for about a year now, so I've used it many times before. And this is also something that is a great holiday gift for you or someone that you know. You can find this stuff for very cheap on military surplus stores. You can get the entire system for pretty cheap, and it's nice to have on hand because it's a layering system that you can rely on and fall back on. So it's not something you have to think about. You just have and pack your layering system, you know what it's made out of, and you just run with it. And let me know if you have any questions or if you learned something in the comments. So what is the extended cold weather layering system? It is a layering system that was developed by the US military or the US Army. Most of the layering systems that you will find from military surplus stores are ones that are made by Polartec. However, these are Frog. These were developed for the United States Marine Corps. The Polartec and the Frog equipment, each layer is made out of slightly different material, giving it different insulating properties. And the Frog and Polartec genuine USGI surplus clothing should be flame resistant or flame retardant. So in the event that some massive ball of fire consumes you, it's not supposed to drip and melt on your skin if the garment were to catch fire. You can find really cool videos of this and these garments performing under these conditions other places on YouTube. The extended cold weather layering system is composed of primarily 3 layers. You have your layer 1, your 2, and then your 3, 4 that we'll talk about. Your layer 1 is what is right in front of us right now. This is a silk garment. It's a base layer. And here's the Frog tag for the United States Marine Corps. So right here it's flame resistant. This is a silky, smooth, and soft layer, and its primary job is to keep you slightly warm and to wick away moisture. So as temperatures drop real low, and if you are doing high activity, you will then begin to sweat, which will then make you very cold. And the primary purpose of this is to prevent that sweat from staying on your body for very long. It's supposed to give the moisture, the sweat in your body, a surface to dry on. Now, moving on to layer 2, and unfortunately for me, my layer 2s are not made by Polartec or Frog. I bought these at separate times, and whenever I ordered the layer 2s, I was actually unaware that I was buying a Rothco product. So for those of you who don't know, Rothco kind of makes mock USGI clothing, so this is not genuine. They're honestly about the same price. You don't actually save a whole lot of money going either way, but some stores sell the Rothco stuff. You just have to be careful and kind of make sure you know what you're buying. I just decided never to return them. I just wanted to try it out, as the primary purpose of me getting this layer was to have something warm to wear for the winter season and to layer under my clothes. So this is the layer 2. It's actually really nice though. It's like a grid or a waffle top. It's I think it's like a grid wool material. And it's very comfortable, it's very soft. I'm sure you've seen people wearing a lot of these. They look pretty cool. You can see right here the Rothco tag, made in China, and it's a 93% polyester and 7% spandex, and the pants, the level 2 shorts, are the same way. And I'll go ahead and say the nice thing is about this layering system is that it's likely going to complement whatever you've got going on right now. So if you have a BDU top or just any set of hiking pants, all this stuff is going to fit underneath this very well. I mean, you can wear this stuff in public and no one's really going to notice. You're just going to be nice, toasty, and warm. So this being your layer 1, this is your layer 2. The layer 3, some say that it's like a wind water shell, and then your layer 4 is something a lot warmer for very cold environments. I'm going to go ahead and say that these are confirmed. You're both layer 1 and 2s, and these are arguably the most important for building that good solid base layer. And the things that come after are honestly based on personal preference. It's probably going to be based on what you already have. Now your layer 1 is going to be designed for temperatures ranging from 60, 65 degrees down to about 40 degrees. In your layer 2s, you'll want to start to consider from 40 degrees to about 20 degrees. Now you could have your layer 1 and your 2s on, and you could be all good to go and put your BDU top over top of this. And I think that's normally what it's designed for. I also wanted to mention that if you buy your layer 1 and your 2s in smalls, and let's say you already have your BDU in a size small, it's all going to fit together. So you want to buy them all in smalls or all in mediums, not mix up, don't buy these in mediums and these in smalls or do something weird like that. They're all going to coexist with one another. Now for me, I'm going to consider my layer 3 something slightly warmer to go on top of my top, because in the situation of this hike that me and my friends went on, the temperature was about 28 degrees during the day and then dropped to 24 degrees at night. We're also experiencing wind chills that were 50 miles an hour and above in certain spots. I haven't done the math on what that comes out to as temperature on the flesh after wind chill, but it was some of the harshest conditions that I've ever been out in. And on the way up, we were in the sunlight, which made things warm, and we were on our ascent, so our bodies were heating up quite a bit, and I was exchanging between my layer 2 and what I would consider to be my layer 3, which is a fleece, and it's a surplus, nice fleece jacket. This one was also Rothco because I ordered the 2s and the 3s at the same time. If you look this one up, this is considered a layer 3. It's a very soft fleece jacket, and this can be very nice, I will have to say, if you're a hunter. This whole layering system can be really good as a hunter because this is very soft and it doesn't make any noise as you're walking or moving. And that's something else that is seriously needs to be considered, is what you're wearing and how quiet it is as you're moving through your environment. You don't want to give away your signature through sound. This does an amazing job of that. It doesn't have the water resistant qualities like something like what other people might consider a layer 3 is like your wind water layer. And this is a little bit louder. These are Gore-Tex. These are USGI. You can find these on most websites, most surplus websites, and like UCP, M81 Woodland in this case, and the other desert camouflage pattern. But these are awesome. I got these for $30 at a local surplus store. I think you can find them anywhere between 40 and 60. Maybe you can find something better on, or a better price on eBay. But these are amazing. These keep all the rain off of you. They have pockets that just buckle open so you can access your pants. An adjustable cinch strap. This one's elastic. This one's just like rope. And on the bottoms, they have very, very wide pant cuffs where you can get out of these in your boots. And they also have a zipper on the side for the same reason. It doesn't go all the way up, it goes about halfway. You can really air yourself out or get your legs out of these whenever you need to in the field. And I use these on my bottoms on the way down to break wind and also keep all of the snow off of my ankles and out of my boots. And what I honestly love about these the most is that I can put these on, and if the ground's wet or if there's snow on it or if it's just muddy, I can sit down on these with these on, and I don't have to worry about getting my pants dirty or soaking wet. So normally whenever I get to camp, I'll actually throw these on so I can just sit down and around comfortably. I don't have to lay out a tarp or bring a chair. I'm not sweating or moving around a lot. I'll put my Gore-Tex layers on and I'll sit on my butt. And water doesn't go through these. So I love having this, even if it's not raining or anything, as just a base layer that I can sit on. Or not a base layer, but a shell layer that I can sit on. That being said, this entire layering system should also be a part of like your camouflaging system. I'm going to touch on the M81 Woodland top that I have here. It's a surplus item, but this is your uniform. This doesn't necessarily really provide any function outside of you being able to be identified, and it can add some extra storage utility. So I know a reason a lot of people prefer field tops, myself included, is because these pockets allow for more access to storage. Something I still haven't done on this field top is something called a raid mod, where essentially you take the pockets down here in the bottom, and you can get a tailor or someone who does sewing to remove these really big pockets down here and actually put them on the sleeves, so that whenever you're wearing a chest rig or body armor, you can access them on your sleeves like more modern field tops. That way you can put or Velcro extra tourniquets inside these pockets. You could put string, rope, field cards, medical equipment, water purification tablets, anti-diarrheal, and just chem lights, and you can really get creative, and it's kind of a complement to your chest rig or extra pockets. But just understand that these field tops don't add a whole lot of warmth. They should be used for like that 65 degrees and up temperature range. And these also don't dry super easily because they're mostly cotton. It's probably the biggest drawback to field tops like this. But they do add a level of protection, a level of camouflage, and a affordable level of uniformity for your team. Still makes them super killer. Now, some items to talk about while we're camping that are extremely useful to know. If you don't know already, or if you're not, if you plan on hiking or camping or doing some extraneous activity with some boots on, to keep your feet protected, to keep them warm, and to keep them from stinking like shit, you want to be wearing wool socks. I mostly have my socks from Smart Wool. These are from REI. These are just an extremely thick pair of wool sock. And I don't care if it's the summertime, wintertime, fall time, springtime, you want to be wearing wool socks. Wool socks are going to protect your feet and keep them dry. Wool absorbs a lot of the water and actually allows it to dry out, whereas cotton stays wet, it stays damp, and it's how you get blisters in your feet. For those of you who don't know, wool sock, cotton sock, like athletic socks. Most socks are cotton. You want to invest in some good, thick wool socks. I love these ones. Smart Wool makes some these are Stance wool socks you can get that are slightly thinner. And then I know a lot of people who like their darn tough wool socks, but this is like thinnest, thinner, thickest. And I like the thick stuff, especially whenever we're doing, Arctic, very cold, camping, hiking activities. These are awesome. I recommend having one set per day, and you could alternate these out if you only want to carry 2 pairs. Cycle through them and dry out every other pair. And these are naturally antibacterial wool as a fabric is. So this is just very, very important thing. I know a lot of like novice people really mess up on this and they don't know the difference between wool and cotton socks. Wool socks. Now another surplus item that I picked up kind of on a whim that I found extremely useful are these Gore-Tex surplus gloves. And they're supposed to be like, I don't know if they were supposed to be wintertime gloves or just Gore-Tex gloves. Yeah, they're called cold weather flyers glove, and they got them in a size medium. They fit my hands fairly well. They don't really have anywhere to like clip these gloves on anything if you're into that, but they do have these straps which are adjustable and you can kind of like clamp them together somehow. But I'm telling you guys, the weather we were in was freaking cold, and I was shocked how insulated these kept my hands. Not once did any water or moisture get through these. I like how much they actually ride up on my hand while I'm wearing like a coat or just some like long sleeve material. I can stick this in here and it keeps my hand insulated all to my wrist. I never once had snow like fall into here and then just soak my whole glove. I'm really a fan of this design, and I was just very impressed with how warm this kept my hand. The one thing I will say is that it doesn't warm up super quickly. So there were many times where I took off my gloves and I was trying to tie a rope or something, and my hands got very cold afterwards. I had to stick them back in the gloves and really walk around or move my hands to get the blood circulating and flowing back into these. But I'm telling you, these were probably $20, and these are like my new favorite pair of gloves. These things are awesome. So highly recommend if you don't have like a cold weather, like Fieldcraft pair of gloves. These were awesome. Like I said, they're waterproof, they're clearly windproof, and they're thick. They don't allow you to, button press and do stuff like that super easily, but you want to keep your hands warm and you want to be able to feel your fingers, especially in the wintertime. So these were great. The hike that we did was about 2,000 feet in elevation and a little bit more than 3.5 miles. I want to say it was 3.8 miles. We were hiking from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And as the footage will show, I was taking off layers as I got hot and putting it back on. And that's just something to consider, is that while you're moving around, and whether if there's sun on you, if there's no sun, or even the humidity or dryness of your climate is going to be the ultimate determining factor if you need these layers or not, or which layers you need on and which ones you need to take off. So that is a temperature guideline that I gave you. That is a general rule of thumb, so you kind of understand what you might need to buy and what you might not need to buy. And for those of you who are in the deeper south, you really might not need, the super thick layers. Just understand that having a good layering system like this is better than like having a t-shirt on and then a really thick warm jacket. That is going to make you sweat. It is going to make you way too hot and exhausted. You want to slowly layer up as the temperature gets colder, and then it's really nice to be in between too hot and slightly too cold, and you can kind of put this on and take it off and swap between the two. That's what you want to do to regulate your body temperature, to make sure you're not getting too exhausted or sweating and losing too much fluid. Now, I will have to say, you have all these layers, what do you do with them? Especially if you want to pack them and take them with you on the go. What I have, and you could get a slightly larger one, is this see-through Sea to Summit bag that is, mine's an 8-liter bag, and it will fit 2 pairs of socks. It will fit my layer 1, my layer 2. Not that I would necessarily be packing all of these at one time. It wouldn't really make any sense to, but it will pack the layer 1, the 2. I believe I fit an extra scarf in here with it. It will fit my layer 3 in here if I need to pack it that way and keep it dry. And then in most other situations, I'll keep this maybe on the outside of a backpack or an easy to get to compartment. This will normally be inside, carrying my extra socks and stuff. I like to keep in here to keep those dry and make sure nothing happens to my socks. And typically, if you're going to be needing, your cold weather layers, you're going to be wearing them. I know there's some people in environments where the temperature might fluctuate very rapidly, or even around here in Appalachia, we can have a 65-degree day followed by a 40 or 20-degree day. It just depends on when you're going out. So it's important that you figure out a system, a way to pack this, make sure it all fits in your backpack. And that's going to be the content that I'm going to get into in the future, or backpacks to carry this equipment, because ultimately this is your sustainment equipment. This is stuff that is going to keep you alive in the field, and we want to make sure that we have room for it. So we're going to be doing a series on rucksacks, kind of like multiple day assault packs. That's what they're known, like 3-day assault packs and assault packs. Backpack, the main rucksack that I have been hiking with, and some of the footage that I roll across, is my Mystery Ranch Terra Frame, and that is kind of my main sustainment rucksack that I've been using. However, kind of learning that I'm pushing it to kind of its storage limits in some regards. So we'll be talking about that in some videos to come. Hope you learned something, and I hope this clears some of this up. If you're someone who's looking into buying a layering system, I would just tell you, go ahead and pull the trigger on it. Even if you're someone who doesn't live where it's super cold, whenever you need this stuff, it will be worth whatever you paid for. It'll be worthwhile, and it is nice to have it around. And if you're someone who goes out and just wears blue jeans in the cold, you're doing it wrong. You throw on one of these layer 2s, one of these layer 1s underneath those jeans, and you'll be feeling just good. But like, stuff like that is not going to keep you warm. It's not going to keep you alive, and you're going to need layers underneath this stuff in order to keep you functioning in the field, especially whenever those temperatures start to drop. So thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Until next time, Merry Christmas, Thanksgiving, and God bless.